Hi! Happy Valentine's Day 2012. For Valentine's Day this year, I wanted to share with you a heart story since it is Heart Disease Awareness Month and we've been wearing red all month to promote awareness of heart disease. I am a heart disease survivor of 3 cardiac arrests, and this is my story. In October of 1996, I was teaching aerobics near Charlotte, North Carolina when I collapsed teaching aerobics. At this time, I wasn't anticipating anything, although in the months leading up to this, particularly during my pregnancy, I had had some passing out episodes that they couldn't determine the cause of. At 26, I'd been training for a marathon and had a fainting episode, and I went into the doctor's office and they told me that I was depressed and put me on Prozac. But at this time, I had a near-death experience and a cardiovascular collapse teaching aerobics. I was bathed in the most beautiful, loving, peaceful light that you can imagine, and I believed that I was in the presence of God. I saw people who had passed on before, heard my dog barking and different things, and then I was told by God or the angels, basically, it wasn't my time. So since it wasn't my time to go, I came back to Earth, and my son at the time was 18 months old, so I'm really glad that I got to be his mom for all this time because he is now 16. I was stable for a while after the 1996 episode until I guess it was 2002 when I had a carotid body tumor in the right side of my neck that had to be removed. Also during these years, I had appropriate shocks for ventricular tachycardia, but I was basically treated with medications and was stable most of the time. Each time that there's a loss of consciousness, I'm unable to drive, and so that's hard for me. After the carotid body tumor, the next year in 2004, I fractured my L2 vertebrae in an accident in the backyard. And after I fractured my back and tried to go back to swimming, my heart seemed to start acting up more. So I was trying to go back to swimming and I had a 3-shock cardiac arrest in the pool. I only remember 1 shock, and so I called my doctor the next day and got a lecture and was put in the hospital and had some more things adjusted. In 2005, 2006, I had ablations to try and correct some of the areas that were causing the ventricular arrhythmias because I was having more at rest. This seemed to make me feel better for a while until August 25th, 2007, when I had my 3rd and scariest cardiac arrest to date. I received 10 shocks from my implantable defibrillator. It took the ambulance 15 minutes to get there. In the meantime, my son, who was then 12, and my husband arrived before the ambulance. And I didn't remember having 10 shocks. I only remembered having 4. So I was unconscious for 6 of them. But I was able to summon help by yelling at the neighbors whose yard I was walking by. I'm getting shocked. Please call 911, as I collapsed in their driveway. So I was able to do that. I was care flighted from Denton to Fort Worth, Texas, which is where my doctor was at the time. I don't remember much about the helicopter ride, but I always wanted to ride in a helicopter, so I was really happy about that, I guess. I did pretty well after that. I did have to have a heart transplant workup. It took me a while to kind of get back to my new normal. It was really difficult for a while to do things physically, but I was basically determined to be too well for heart transplant, but just too sick to do the things that I wanted to do. I've basically given up running, but I have started being more active as far as hiking and kayaking. I always had the dream to do the Appalachian Trail, and we have made 2 journeys to Georgia to start with the Appalachian Trail, and we've done the first 2 segments. However, last October on our 2nd trip there, I received some shocks while sleeping after hiking all day, and it was determined that maybe that wasn't the safest place for me to be when I received shocks because it would be hard to summon emergency help back in the woods on the Appalachian Trail. So I hope to still continue to hike, but we're going to have a nuclear stress test to determine exactly where I am at this point and what amount of exercise would be safe. But in the meantime, I did go back and get my degree in exercise and sports nutrition, my master's degree, and became a registered dietitian to help other people with their relationship with food and to life in general. So I help girls with eating disorders, men and women actually, and just try to help those with chronic illness to fight the fight and to keep on improving their quality of life, because if you're going to have heart disease, this is probably the time to have it. The treatments are better, stem cell research, medical options, left ventricular assist devices. So I hope that through me telling the story that there is hope for you, that you won't give up the fight when your heart is hit, because it's when things get worse that you must not quit. So please know that there is someone out there who would love to hear from you and listen to your concerns, because every sunrise and every sunset that I get to see is a blessed new day, and I'm grateful for every day and every moment that I've been given. And I want to tell you, this is my heart story. Happy Valentine's Day.